So really the invitation of freedom from the movie of your life and the story of me and the drama that entails is to recognize, to realize that which never changes, that which has always been with you, that which is always with you, that which is the foundation or the ground of the whole of your existence. And it's at this point we start to use the phrases awareness or light of being or the radiance of being. And here the mind often kicks in and asks, how do I achieve this? How do I stay in a state of awareness? Because the mind is always looking for a quick fix. It's looking for a prescription. How do I do this? Should I focus on sensations so that they dissolve and then I can realize true nature? Or should I focus on awareness and ignore sensation and thought and everything else so that I can remain in the realization of awareness as my true nature? These are the wrong questions. They're innocent questions, of course, because they come from a sincere longing for peace. But in some ways they're misdirected. They arise out of the belief that comes from the separate self that awakening out of the dream of the me self, or awakening out of me and my life, will rescue you from discomfort, will allow you to escape from the vulnerability of being alive, from the ebb and flow of life, which is unpredictable. You can't control life in that way. The true awakening or true freedom, true realization is not an escape. This we have to be clear on. It's an intimacy. It's an intimacy with what is. It's a revelation of the light of being shining through every moment, not just the pleasant ones. It shines through fear and peace. It shines through clarity and confusion. It's not a destination you arrive at. It's the realization of that which is always here and has always been here. And so how, which is not really the right question, but we'll use that phrase for convenience in communication. Well, how do we even begin to realize this that is being pointed to? Well, first of all, and primarily, it's a simple and a seemingly challenging on the willingness to stop demanding or insisting on a different experience to the one that is actually being experienced here now. That's the start of it. Whether it's sadness or anger or confusion or even tension, all those things that we don't want, we don't like, we want to get rid of. None of that exists or is experienced outside of that which may be attempted to be realized. It's all appearing in the same open, vast space. When you try to reject it, or manipulate it, or control it, or run away from it, or suppress it, or deny it, you're also denying the luminosity of being that is inherent in all experience. And so the starting place, I return to the starting place, is to end the fight with what is, to end the argument with what is, to end resistance, to end interference with your experience. That's the beginning. Inner resistance must soften in order for the luminosity of being to filter in to your experience, to filter into life. It ends the separation, the wall that is erected between me and my life, me and my experience, comes down. It's the end of the wall. This is the intimacy that's being referred to. And there's nothing to fear. There's nothing to reject. There's nothing to tighten against, to harden against, to defend against. Challenges of life. Because there's always challenge in life, or situations that may be more difficult than others, and so on. They will continue, of course. This is life. But when the wall comes down, when the war ends, these challenges are not interpreted as a threat to who you are. They are not a threat to the ground of your existence. This means that you can meet what is from a deeper ground, and so you respond rather than react. You act from deep intelligence, not from the need to defend. This comes from the inside out, not from the top down. It's not a process. It's not a method. It's not something you impose upon yourself. It comes from the realization of the ground of existence. So wherever you are, in the midst of ordinary activities, is the opportunity to know the ground of existence, to realize that which is unbroken in the midst of the broken. You don't have to hold on to this. You don't have to stay in it. You don't have to try so hard. You don't have to apply effort and method. You don't even have to meditate. You have to realize. This realization comes gradually, most often. In spurts, you realize in this situation, in this experience, after this experience, in this moment, you realize, until one day perhaps the whole edifice of the illusory self and all its argument and all its resistance is no longer here. fallen away and you've fallen open.